Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to my channel, Spiritual Dowsey. I'm Dowsey LeMay. I hope all you beautiful souls out there are doing okay wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining me. I hope that these videos are helpful for you as you go along. So today I'm doing the January energy update, or giving you my insight into the energies for January 2021. So before I go any further, these are my truths, my experiences. Use your own discernment. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So many of you guys are probably having this sigh of relief. Whew, 2020, it's done. We can finally look forward to 2021 and feel like the world's going to get better. Unfortunately, I don't mean to be a wet towel, but I want to let you know that 2021 is going to be crazy. It's going to be intense. It's going to be very chaotic and very tumultuous. And why is that? Well, let's look at 2020 first. 2020, if you look at the number in numerology around 2020, it was a 4. And a 4 is a very stabilizing and grounding number. So what happened in 2020 is that we had to be grounded. And if I think about all the times as I was growing up, I was grounded for my behavior, right? We as a collective and individually were grounded to understand our behaviors, to understand what things are no longer allowed to be carried forward, to understand our actions and why that does not fit going forward, right? We were grounded so that we can find stability in our behavior, in our energetics, and we can find the four legs of our chair to be in a better foundation as we go forward. That is the energetics carried into 2021. 2021 from a numerology standpoint broken down as a number 5. 5 is the midpoint in between 1 and 9, right? It is the catalyst. It is the pivotal point in which we determine the rest of our future. It is a difficult number because it's really about new beginnings associated with what you had learned and where you found stability and what you took out of the grounded state of the number 4. Think about that energy as we go forward into 2021. We learned the lessons, and now the external experiences of what we have learned through have to shift for us to make way for the new consciousness, the new vibrations, and the new things that we learn going forward for 2021. It is going to be themed out in January and the rest of 2021. Here are the themes: potential chaos, turmoil, abrupt changes that are going to be triggering, upsetting, that are all designed to open your eyes to what you've been unconscious about. Another theme that you're going to be dealing with in January, as well as you move forward into 2021, is that alchemical processes that are happening within us energetically and physically, as well as a splitting of experiences that we are having in the collective. So, what I can say is, as we move forward into January, what I want you to keep back in the back of your mind is the idea of this phrase: hope at last. Although it may not seem like it, I want you to remember that hope is on the horizon. We are going to be recovering from a very difficult time period, and things will be getting better. It's almost like you have to have faith that what you learned in 2020 and what you learned through that experience, and that your desires and what you were desiring for humanity is out there and is just on the horizon. And we have to remember in January, as we move forward, that we need to rest, we need to revitalize, and we need to surround ourselves with high vibrational experiences or things that are going to lift our spirits, because what we're going to go through can easily cause us to drop our vibration, to be caught up into the proverbial shitstorm of what's going to be happening, as well as get ourselves in a funk in the low vibrational emotional outputs that could be occurring by getting sucked in. All right, because January is the start of a time of great unveiling. It is as the days turn to more light, as the days get longer and we get flushed with more light and more energy, which could be symbolic of what? Information, DNA activation, sun activity, opening your perspective to other things, allowing a higher consciousness, all sorts of things that what light and energy could reference. You will find that there's going to be shifts, changes, abrupt changes occurring in January as well as the rest of the year that are going to be on a relatively bigger, grander scale. So what I can say is that if you have not been having your head in the sand, you may have been noticing a lot of the dysfunction that's been playing out in many of these old structures that we've been existing in. The government structure, the health structure, the financial structure, the educational structures, all these societal structures, you're seeing a lot of this dysfunction that's coming about. All of this is being brought up. All of this is being brought onto the light because of you as the creator must become conscious about what you have allowed to run rampant in your shadows, right? It is time for you to become aware of your unconscious programs so that now you can integrate this energy. You can say, I no longer allow this to happen, and you can create your reality consciously, one that is more in line with the age of Aquarius around abundance, love, compassion, and joy and peace. So if you are seeing a lot of this dysfunction that's coming up, and many of you guys, I'm sure, have been recently launching into triads of judgmental accusations about someone or something that's occurred in your reality, or perhaps you've been super judgmental at people that are being played out in the global theatrical type of events that we're seeing in the news. You need to ask yourself, why do I feel so judgmental? Why do I feel so angry? Why is it that I'm feeling this way? Because the energy and the light is pulling all these experiences out of the shadows so that you can see what has been playing out underneath your nose unconsciously. And you as the creator need to become conscious of that so you can change that. The only way you can change that is becoming conscious that the fact that you have a problem. And once you become aware of the problem, the dysfunction, you can consciously choose to empower yourself and change things around. So that is why it is vital as we move along that you look at the mirror and these vibrational experiences that are occurring as we move through January and the rest of the year to say, why is this happening? What am I feeling from this? This is all coming about and is being ripped out of the shadows. It's being ripped out of the darkness so that you can see it happening. You can understand that this has been occurring underneath your nose, and you need to make the empowered decision, say, I no longer allow this to occur. Now, I did a video recently about handling change or how to deal with change, because what we are going to need to get used to as we move forward is the idea of change. Rapid change within our lives and rapid change within our collective. And that means as we move through change, what you learned in 2020 and what you found was to be important for you and what you found to be the stability in your life has to be resilient. It has to have the strength, and it has to have the faith to carry through all this change. Because all this change is going to do is cause all the things that no longer vibrate with the new consciousness. All this change is going to bring out that the fact that things that aren't resilient, the things that don't have the strength, the things that aren't aligned with higher consciousness and the higher vibration are going to fall to the wayside. And you can look at all those structures I talked about. You see all that dysfunction, you're seeing all that energy come up, and change is going to bring that about. And you are going to find that you're going to need to have the faith and to find things that are resilient and to have the strength and to really have the stable chair of which you took out of 2020 to carry you through the rest of the year. And that's all going to start in January 2020. So most of us have been unconscious of what we've been allowed to run in the background, and this transfers as well to the collective. And you can think about the world that we live in, right? Things are not perfect. Things are not rosy. Things are not all about sunshine. There is stuff that is occurring underneath. There is darkness. There is bad stuff. There is corruption. There is inhumane activities that are occurring that are finally coming to the light. So what you have is this illusion about this perfect world is finally crumbling, and all the darkness and all these things are coming up to the forefront that are going to start happening in January are going to cause a lot of you guys to be triggered. It's going to be upsetting. It's going to be eye-opening, but it's all there for you as the creator to integrate that energy so that you can say, I see what has been running unchecked, unrecognized, allowed directly underneath your nose, and you're no longer going to allow that to happen, and you're going to make the conscious choice to move forward and to change that. We are no longer going to allow this to happen, right? But that starts with us individually, right? We are conveying out this illusion and portraying and projecting out this idea that we are perfect. None of us are perfect. It's an illusion. So our collective experience is that we are projecting out this idea of perfection. It doesn't exist. We need to look in that and say, why are we tied to this idea of perfection? Why are we projecting out an illusion around perfection and trying to make things and everybody else happy? It doesn't exist. We need to look at ourselves, shift around that energy, be conscious of our program so that we can change the rest of the world, right? Through this process, through the shifting, through the understanding of the old energies and seeing all this dysfunction, we are going to go through a grieving process. Many of the collective are going to go through a grieving process, and there's going to be disappointment, and you're going to have to relook at the expectations you put on yourself as well as the collective. And you're going to see relationships fall apart. The dysfunctions in those relationships are going to fall apart because they no longer align with the new energetics of what you are and what the collective are. And so what I also see is that is our relationship to the old attachments of the energetics of the old structures that we were tied to, right? We are going to have to let go, and we're going to have to grieve and go through the disappointments of what we see being brought to the light, and we're going to have to understand all that stuff as a creator to integrate it and to shift things out. It must be so before we can bring in something new, right? A lot of us are going through this alchemical process within us, right? That alchemical process is transmuting the densities, it's transmuting the unconscious programs that we have allowed, it's transmuting the external events, the external structures, all shifting around that energy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to feel like chaos, right? So you could feel like you're going through a flu-like symptom. So physically, you're going to be having like energies up, energies down. You're going to you're going to feel like you're lethargic. You're going to have headaches. You're going to be all over the place emotionally, energetically, even mentally. You're going to be obsessive around stuff. You're not going to be obsessive. You're going to have all these varying ranges of all these different layers to you from a physical as well as an energetic standpoint, all because we are alchemically transmuting a lot of this energy so that we can move into a more stable place as we move forward. Right, so just be mindful of your physical symptoms and your physical body and what is playing out energetically, and you could just be transmuting a lot of this energetics as we go forward. Part of the reason why is because we're having a split of experiences that are going to be occurring for two different parts of the collective. One part of the collective, which has been asleep, that haven't been willing to do the emotional, mental, and inner work, is going to be experiencing a lot more of a difficult time compared to those who have been doing the inner work, right? Those who've been asleep, who haven't been doing doing the work, are going to feel everything I talked about. They're going to have all these experiences versus those who aren't in that, who have been doing a lot of the work. You're going to find that if that's you, you're going to have this energetic behind you that's going to be allowing you to really take advantage of this new energy. It's like a new beginning, and you can really take advantage of the momentum of the energy. It's like a wind to your back so that you can hit the ground running, creating new businesses, creating new realities, creating the things that you desire, and really bringing in the outcomes of which you wish as you have worked through yourself and you are really aligning with the new vibrational sourcing energetics that is available to you now compared to those who are in the other collective who are really stuck into the old attachments of the old energetics, are going to have a hard time going through that process, right? All of this is to help you understand more about yourself and to help you become conscious about yourself so that you can internally become more balanced, and that can be reflected out into the collective as you create your reality. Now, one of the areas that's adding to this is the chakra point. Is your root chakra is going to be the most active. Many of you guys are going to find blocks in your root chakra. What that block means from a physical level is that you're going to have feet, ankle, leg, and knee problems. You're going to find some stability issues around that in your muscles. You may have lower back pain, sciatica, colon, those kind of things associated with your root chakra and down. What that means emotionally, if you're blocked, is that you're going to feel a lot around fear, safety. And because your root chakra is the gateway for the energy coming into your body, you could be energetically lethargic, you could be energetically depleted, you could be energetically all over the place, because what's happening is you're focusing on safety, you're focusing on materialistic things and possessions, and you don't feel grounded and you're not really present in the moment. So you're going to be anxious, you're going to be very stressed out, and you're going to spend all your time trying to focus on your safety and meeting your material needs. You're going to deplete yourself energetically. So just be extremely mindful of that. And if you need some help, go online and say, how do I balance out my root chakra? All right. All of this is coming about in the beginning of January, and it's going to be intense. It's going to be intense as we go through January and we go through the rest of the year. Just be mindful that this is all for your highest good. Hope is on the horizon. Things are going to get better. But for us to see shifts within our reality, for us to have a better world, we need to change all the things that have been dysfunctional about the old energetics. And that is what we're going to be dealing with starting in January and for the rest of the year. Change, turmoil, alchemical process, splitting of realities, because people have been working on themselves versus those who have been asleep. It's going to be a very, very interesting time. And for me, I certainly look forward to seeing how this goes about. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Say goodbye for now.